2 days later, outside the palace of Heavenly Lake Sacred Land. According to the information provided by Serenity U, the Heavenly Lake Sacred Land is clearly divided into different levels, with the outermost layer and the second layer. There are the residence areas for the outer disciple and inner disciple to cultivate. The innermost layer is where the Great Emperor, Divine Lord, and other Great Emperors reside, while Luminous Bai is being held under house arrest within. Although Noctis Borealis injuries are no longer a major concern, based on the information provided by Serenity U earlier, this operation must be conducted with cunning. Noctis Borealis reached into his bosom and pulled out the token stolen from the last robbery. He took advantage of the disciple's momentary relaxation as he opened the door. He pulled him into the mystic realm space in one swift motion. Now I ask a question, you answer a question. They saw Noctis Borealis as just a kid from the celestial court stage. They actually dared to command them. The three who were pulled and also started to clamor. Seeing that they refused to cooperate, Noctis Borealis just smiled faintly. He swung the celestial whip in his hand. In an instant, the two of them were lying on the ground wailing in pain. Then he turned his head to look at the only remaining person. The person immediately backed down when he saw it. Then Noctis Borealis asked about the Emperor Transformation Pool. The Emperor Transformation Pool is nearly as large as a lake. Located in the core disciple area, it is the safest legendary treasure in the sacred land. There are people at the Sacred King stage specifically guarding it. So, you want to steal the legendary treasure Emperor Transformation Pool, but that is simply impossible. Is that so? I'm sorry. Just because others don't have the ability, it doesn't mean I don't. Only to see Noctis Borealis surrounded by colorful light. As he walked out of the mystic realm, his appearance had already transformed into that of Elder Yin for his fall. It hasn't been long since the incident in the mystic realm. There is a celestial's domain between the two places. By principle, the news of Heavenly Lake Half-Emperor's death should not have reached here yet. He could just slip through the cracks. Unless he encounters someone at the level of Half-Emperor or Great Emperor now, ordinary people wouldn't see through this imitation technique at all. As long as he enters this gate now, and doesn't encounter anyone from the core area along the way, then I will. But before Noctis Borealis could finish speaking, a figure suddenly appeared behind him. Oh my god. This is what people fear more. Instead, people always seem to encounter what they fear. However, at this moment, the goal is within reach. He will not give up and start over just like that. As for this Sacred King powerhouse, I can easily deceive him. Cleared the old phlegm in my throat. Big Bluff Noctis Borealis is officially online. Why are you here so late? Hee. I've been accumulating merit for 100 years. Finally, I've earned the qualification to cultivate in the Emperor Transformation Pool for a day. It wasn't easy for me to wait for this day. Hearing this, Noctis Borealis suddenly brightened. Isn't it great that someone offers me a pillow whenever I feel sleepy? It's really heaven helping him. After casually responding with a few words, he disappeared on the spot. Seeing the elder disappear on the spot, the Sacred King thought that this was the strength of a powerhouse half-emperor. He didn't notice at all. By now, Noctis Borealis had already turned into a small point and was hiding on his back. After 200 years, someone finally came to cultivate. Check the Sacred King's notes. The guards at the door also let him pass. Noctis Borealis saw how easy it was to sneak into the Emperor Transformation Pool. He suddenly had a big smile on his face, realizing that if he had relied solely on himself, he probably wouldn't have been able to enter so smoothly. However, judging from what the few people just said, it seems that very few people usually enter the Emperor Transformation Pool. But now is not the best time for me to take action. After all, this is a highly protected area. Once there is any movement, I'm afraid it will directly attract not only the Half-Emperor, but even the Great Emperor, a day later. That Sacred King completed the cultivation and also left here. Hey, it's my turn to make a move. I saw Noctis Borealis slowly moving the small ball. Finally, with a plop, it fell into the Emperor transformation pool. As soon as he entered, he was surprised to find that the progress of cultivation in this spiritual liquid alone was several times that of the outside world. Moreover, within this spiritual liquid, there was a trace of mysterious power. It was similar to the power of cosmic laws, etc. Since the concentration of spiritual energy in this pool is so high, there may be even more amazing treasures below. In his past life, he led 108 enchanting female disciples to search for various opportunities in the world. In the end, each disciple earned a lot. For example, there was the heavenly Tao body, 9 sacred body, profounding body, swordpulse body, and so on. But there are very few that are suitable for Noctis Borealis. Even if there are, they only serve to enhance the divine soul treasure. But fortunately, he has resurrected after being dead for 300 years. And he has awakened the unrivaled sovereign system. He dove deep into the Emperor transformation pool. Noctis Borealis could sense that the water pressure outside was already very terrifying. Fortunately, he has the mystic realm to accommodate himself. Otherwise, the supreme mystic artifact would not have been found. He would have been directly flattened into a meat patty. Central area of Heavenly Lake Sacred Land. At this moment, Luminous Bai is looking out the window. She has already decided to commit suicide on the day of the wedding to accompany revered Sherfu. She will never marry the Heavenly Lake Holy Heir no matter what. What she's most concerned about now are those senior sisters. If any of them were to get hurt again, there would be no one left to heal them. Thinking of this, Luminous Bai couldn't help but cry again. But she didn't know. Her revered master has already been resurrected. And now he is preparing to steal the legendary treasure of the Heavenly Lake Sacred Land. I don't know how long has passed. Noctis Borealis finally sank to the bottom of the pool, only to see a huge crystal appearing in front of him. The fact that the Heavenly Lake Sacred Land has such a top-notch legendary treasure, but only produced 3 great emperors is truly a waste. Let me take over. However, now that the legendary treasure has been found by Noctis Borealis, how can he bring it into his desolate space? Now, as long as he goes out, the terrifying spiritual pressure around him will probably crush him into a meat pie in an instant. By then, he might not even be able to protect his divine soul. Just then, Noctis Borealis suddenly had a flash of inspiration. He gathered the purple heavenly lightning in his hand. He started bombarding the rocks outside the legendary treasure with the light. He actually succeeded in creating a crack in it. Sure enough, because of the existence of this legendary treasure, the hardness of the surrounding rocks has undergone a great change. But my heavenly thunder doesn't care about these. As he spoke, he started bombing again. According to his speculation, it would take at least 2 days to shatter this legendary treasure. Although it takes a relatively long time, his efforts are all worth it. In any case, the spiritual power in the pond here is several times richer than outside. It's just right for cultivation. 2 days later, the eyes of Noctis Borealis slowly opened. After these 2 days of cultivation, his cultivation level has reached the celestial quartz stage at a rocket-like cultivation speed. Even Noctis Borealis was very surprised. If he could have his current talent and luck before his resurrection, he could destroy nearly half of the 9 great sacred lands in just 300 years. Cultivation completed. Only to see Noctis Borealis, in his hand, the celestial thunder formation once again emerges. In an instant, more than a dozen celestial thunders uprooted that legendary treasure. All were brought into his desolate space together. Saw the legendary treasure being taken away. After the terrifying spiritual power pressure at the bottom of the pool disappeared, Noctis Borealis jumped into the pool. Directly took away the spiritual liquid in the Emperor transformation pool as well. The next day, when the disciples who came to inspect saw the scene, they were stunned in place. It was fine yesterday, so how did the Emperor transformation pool dry up today? Realizing that something was wrong, the disciple on the side quickly sounded the highest alert. Hearing the commotion outside due to the alert, Luminous Bai was initially puzzled. However, he quickly became happy. In this situation now, there might be a chance that his marriage date will be cancelled. Noctis Borealis cultivation level has broken through, and the legendary treasure is also in hand. Next, he should go to that place. But before Noctis Borealis could be happy for a long time, a violent tremor appeared in the desolate space. Looking outward carefully, only to see the Heavenly Lake Divine Lord and Grand Elder arriving at the Emperor transformation pool together. Noctis Borealis was scared out of his wits. Two great emperors are coming together. It looks like in a few days, his plan to give a big gift is coming. He needs to be more cautious. He decided to infiltrate the Sacred Land Heavenly Prison in order to save the 99th enchanting female disciple Noctis Borealis. After all, the enemy of the enemy is a friend. After using perception formation to investigate, Noctis Borealis found out. The strongest ones here are just at the Divine Sage stage. Since Heavenly Lake Sacred Land is being so respectful, I won't hold back either. Just saw the figure of Noctis Borealis flash by. He instantly arrived in front of a person. Noctis Borealis didn't wait for the menial worker to react. The menial worker was directly knocked unconscious by him. Someone is coming. Noctis Borealis quickly stuffed the unconscious menial worker into the desolate space. He quickly transformed himself into the appearance of a menial worker. After investigating Noctis Borealis, he found that the first and second floors detain minor offenders, while the third floor holds serious criminals. However, these individuals did not provide much help regarding his upcoming plans. Just as he was preparing to go to the fourth floor, the menial worker beside him hurriedly stopped him. Below was where some extremely sinful and heinous prisoners were held. Those criminals were not killed due to the value for utilization based on their cultivation level being eliminated. However, many were also sealed with forbidden techniques. "I leave this to you. I will go rest for a while," he said. Noctis Borealis saw the person leave. Noctis Borealis directly removed the disguise. He pushed open the door of the fourth level and walked in. Today, unexpectedly, a little brat was sent from above? Is it currently being tough, getting ready to switch to being gentle? He looked in the direction of the voice. Only a white-haired old man was sitting deep in the cell. "Tell me, what is your identity? What strength do you have? If I find it good, I can get you out." Upon hearing these words, the old man's eyes instantly opened wide. "Who are you?" Celestial Court Stage First Layer actually appeared here. Seeing that the old man did not respond according to his request, Noctis Borealis turned around and was about to head towards the next cell. "I am the former second elder of the Heavenly Lake Sacred Land, Yonder Lien. Cultivation level is at the mid to late half-emperor stage, and has been trapped here for 700 years. Hearing the old man's introduction, Noctis Borealis also stopped in his tracks. He didn't expect Heavenly Lake Sacred Land to be so strict, actually locking up the elder as well. Just saw Noctis Borealis throw a punch. The prison door was directly blasted with a hole. "Serve me for 10 years, and then I will set you free. If you agree, offer a strand of divine soul. If you don't agree, I won't waste my time with you." Yonder Lien heard the opportunity to leave and directly agreed. He reached out his right hand towards his chest. A ray of divine soul was forcibly pulled out by him. "Very good, it seems that this person harbors deep hatred towards Sacred Land. It happens to be useful for me." Noctis Borealis reached out his left hand, and a formation that imprisons divine soul directly appeared on Yonder Lien's body. "Old Yonder Lien has seen Master. My name is Noctis Borealis. Just call me Lord. Rest assured, my words are absolutely reliable. 10 years later, I will give you back your freedom." He then took out a barrel of Emperor Transformation Pool spiritual liquid to help Yonder Lien restore her strength. This made Yonder Lien widen her eyes. It's not an easy task for her, as the second elder of the sacred land, to enter the Emperor transformation pool for cultivation, not to mention taking out such a large barrel of spiritual liquid. I ask you, is there still a fifth underground level in the Heavenly Prison? Lord Heavenly Prison only has 4 levels. Are you trying to subdue even more powerful individuals? In this 4th level, there are 2 secret rooms detaining extremely dangerous convicts. Do you want to take a look? Upon hearing this, Noctis Borealis' eyes lit up. Finding someone randomly could turn out to be a great emperor in this secret room, as mentioned by the second elder. About the elopement in 10 days. After a few minutes of guidance from yonder Lien, the 2 individuals also arrived in front of a wall. After the removal of Noctis Borealis, the secret chamber door opened. At that moment, a stunning beauty appeared in front of the 2. Tell me, how did you come in? Upon hearing this voice, the girl with purple hair was stunned for a moment. This voice, you are revered Sherfu. This girl is too silly. She originally just wanted to come to this heavenly prison to find some super strong undead. She just needs to train them into undead puppets, so that her own strength will reach a higher level. What she didn't expect is that the Heavenly Lake Sacred Land is not to be underestimated. The Sacred Land directly sent out 2 half-emperors to capture her back. Then she was locked up until now. Upon hearing this, Noctis Borealis was immediately furious. She didn't even have time to hide. This guy, instead, delivered himself to her doorstep. And not only that, he even delivered himself to the lowest level of her prison. I really don't know why I accepted such a big fool disciple revered Sherfu at the beginning. Disciple will never dare again in the future. I will listen to your words from now on. Please don't be angry, okay? Encountering Disciple +1 again, granting the shared divine power of the Great Tao, allows you to share the Great Tao power of one disciple for your own use. However, the effect only lasts for 24 hours. There is a cooldown period of 10 days, as indicated by the system prompt. Noctis Borealis couldn't care less about being angry. This is not sharing at all. It's clearly copying someone else's the Great Tao power. With this ace up my sleeve, in 10 days, I will surely have a double joy day in the sacred land. I'll give them an extra dose of happiness. Hee hee. Even though those fools in the revered Sherfu sacred land have sealed my cultivation level, my undead summoning vessels can still continue to cultivate within the summoning space. She released the 4 newly acquired half-emperors, and over a dozen powerful late Sacred King stage experts she had imprisoned on the 4th level of this heavenly prison. But Noctis Borealis saw it, and lightly flicked his right middle finger. The group of undead instantly disappeared on the spot. He really didn't understand. Why couldn't he find a powerful undead no matter where he looked? Ancient battlefields, extraterritorial battlefields, ancient ruins, all have stronger goods than those found here. In case Sacred Land doesn't intend to keep you, you'd turn into an undead by yourself. Do you know that? Saying this, he ruthlessly tapped the girl on the head. But this act truly scared yonder Lien a lot. This person was marked as an extremely dangerous individual by Sacred Land 300 years ago. Now, he is urgently calling for revered Sherfu Noctis Borealis to promote him to half-emperor within 10 days using any means necessary. He then left behind a bucket of spiritual liquid for the girl to absorb. This time, they went all out to save little junior sister. 7 days later, Heavenly Lake Sacred Land began early preparations. Which force does young master belong to? We still need to report to the upper level. Noctis Borealis, without any power. I'm just here for the fun. I wonder if Sacred Land is welcoming. I feel the terrifying aura emanating from Noctis Borealis. In addition, there are also 2 half-emperors accompanying him. The welcoming disciples also let him pass directly. After all, such important figures are not ones that an outer disciple like him can provoke. Respected master, let's just go up there directly now and rescue little junior sister. Then, while their great emperor hasn't reacted yet, catch them off guard and attack. Otherwise, Wait for all the people from the sacred land to arrive. No rush. We should wait for all of them to arrive. Then we can tidy up together. The girl heard these words. The girl thought that revered Sherfu had been dead for too long, so she did not know the current strength of the Heavenly Lake Sacred Land. Although it is not considered the strongest among the 9 great sacred lands, it still has 3 great Emperor-level experts. However, Noctis Borealis is not worried. After all, he has obtained another trump card since breaking through the Celestial Court stage. Dealing with a few great emperors is just a quick splash for him. 3 great emperors have arrived. The wedding is officially beginning. Please welcome the bride and groom. The grand wedding is starting soon. Everything is about to come to an end. If it's in front of a large audience, I can take the life of the holy heir. That would indeed be a quite enjoyable thing. Just as Luminous Bai was getting closer to the holy heir, when she was about to take action, a long whip knocked back the 2 sacred kings behind Luminous Bai. Noctis Borealis instantly stepped forward and lifted her veil. Sorry, this bride, she is mine. 3 girls broke in through the window. They actually came together to Heavenly Lake Sacred Land to elope. Seeing all of his disciples gathered together, Noctis Borealis can finally let Heavenly Lake Sacred Land enjoy the gift he has brought. I don't want people to be involved in the big battle. I'll give you 10 seconds. Leave now. Otherwise, before Noctis Borealis finished speaking, the guests all ran out. Remember, after all, watching the drama comes with risks. Everyone needs to be cautious. Seeing his own wedding ruined, Holy Heir could no longer contain his anger. He charged towards Noctis Borealis with all his might. You dare touch my revered Sherfu, you're not worthy. Only to see the purple-haired girl waving her hands. Her eyes also gradually became cold. Before Holy Heir could react, countless threads appeared on both sides of him. How dare you? Heavenly Lake Divine Lord saw his son in danger. With a swing of his blood-slicing sword, he attacked the purple-haired girl. But the blood-slicing attack was blocked by Snow White Chi. Just as the Heavenly Lake Sacred King was preparing to attack again, the girl with purple hair has already appeared behind the Holy Heir in an instant. The attention of the 3 great emperors has all been instantly drawn over. Just now, they didn't observe carefully this girl with purple hair. Isn't she the dangerous individual marked by Sacred Land before? Why would she appear here? I thought it was someone else. It turns out to be just a few escaped troublemakers. How, do you think you can leave here by kidnapping the Holy Heir? Upon hearing this, Noctis Borealis chuckled lightly. With a light wave of his left hand, a thunderbolt struck down. Holy Heir instantly turned into charred remains. His actions directly stunned the 2 great Emperor Elders of Sacred Land. If this group of people were only trying to escape, they could have just taken the Holy Heir as hostage. But the current actions of Noctis Borealis have clearly informed them that today they have come to destroy the Heavenly Lake Sacred Land. You honor actually dared to kill me, you honor, go to hell. Only to see the Heavenly Lake Sacred King's eyes turning red, flames spewing out from his right hand. The flames gradually transformed into a giant palm. The giant palm struck towards Noctis Borealis, but Noctis Borealis was very disdainful. He raised his left hand, just a momentary effort. They disappeared from the spot. Upon seeing this, Heavenly Lake Sacred King was immediately shocked. Why does this person in front of him possess the power of the law of space? Even as a great emperor, he is not able to proficiently use it yet. He speculated that Noctis Borealis has not fully mastered it. After scanning with spirit consciousness, Heavenly Lake Divine Lord also found their hiding place. Divine Lord is not right. They seem not to intend to escape, but before Elder could finish speaking, a black mist shrouded directly above the sacred land. Countless undead creatures appeared under the summons of the girl with purple hair. The undead beings began to attack the Heavenly Lake Sacred Land. They saw the situation. The 2 great Emperor Elders joined forces. They were preparing to kill this undead class girl first. Otherwise, the sacred land would suffer heavy losses. But before they could get close, Snow White Chi wielded the azure lotus sword in her hand. She directly blocked them in place. Selene Lai and Vespera Juga seized the opportunity. One on each side, they began to battle the two great emperors. Look at that young man. Follow the direction of the voice. Everyone was amazed to find that behind Noctis Borealis appeared a demonic golem. His strength has actually increased from the original Celestial Court stage first layer to the late half-emperor stage. Is this person embracing the demon path? My goodness. This kind of momentum has risen to the level of half-emperor. What is he trying to do? Hearing the crowd's exclamations, Luminous Bai smiled lightly. She, who primarily cultivates the great Tao of medicine, is very clear. Those who embrace the demon path simply wouldn't have such clear eyes. Now the aura emanating from revered Shifu. I wonder how much more advanced it is compared to the demon. Good, this is one of the 5 hidden cards unlocked after Noctis Borealis broke through the Celestial Court stage, Supreme Demon Bone. The fusion of Supreme Demon Bone with Noctis Borealis directly breaks through Half-Emperor Summit with great power. Old Lien, protect little Missy well. If she loses a single hair, I will make you pay with your life. Everything is arranged properly. Noctis Borealis then began the battle against the Divine Lord of the Heavenly Lake. With a swipe of his hand, instantly, a powerful wave of energy was released from the two of them. Their strength turned out to be evenly matched. Feeling the extraordinary prowess of Noctis Borealis, Heavenly Lake Divine Lord also realized the severity of the situation. Both this youth and the several female malevolent lords below him actually made him feel somewhat pressured. If he allows these individuals to become great emperors, he may be the one getting beaten up today. This is even the case for the Heavenly Lake Sacred Land. Let's see if you can handle my next move. Only saw the energy erupting from Heavenly Lake Divine Lord's body. It gradually turned into a shadow of Fire Long, and he swung out a palm. Fire Long went straight towards Noctis Borealis to attack. Noctis Borealis felt the power of this attack, and also gathered all his energy to resist it. But in an instant, Fire Long's presence disappeared without a trace. Noctis Borealis hadn't even reacted yet. Heavenly Lake Divine Lord has arrived above him. Just heard a loud bang. Noctis Borealis has been shot down to the ground. I finally dealt with this troublesome and mysterious young man. Take this palm strike. Even if the opponent is the great emperor, they will probably lose their combat power. Not to mention a young man who relies on secret techniques to forcibly raise his strength to that of a half-emperor. Next, it will be your turn. But before Heavenly Lake Divine Lord can gloat for long, a familiar voice emanated from the bottom of the pit. The thick smoke dispersed. Noctis Borealis stood there completely unharmed. He jumped out of the deep pit, showing no concern for the Heavenly Lake Divine Lord beside him. He went straight towards the 4 girls, to be honest. That blow you just made. If it were the previous Noctis Borealis, maybe he would have been injured. But since he absorbed that Supreme Demon Bone, his body has undergone tremendous changes. Looking at the unscathed Noctis Borealis, Heavenly Lake Divine Lord, he was suddenly filled with horror, completely puzzled. Why would a young man who forcibly boosts his strength through secret techniques have such a strong defense? He originally wanted to keep a trick up his sleeve. Now it seems unnecessary. System, activate Mystic Arts. Chair the Great Tao. And select the Great Tao of Undead Summon. The system has received the host's command. The system directly transforms into a giant formation, but Noctis Borealis is not satisfied with this, opening his hands. A continuous stream of Emperor Transformation Pool spiritual liquid is poured into the system. Isn't this the Emperor Transformation Pool water that inexplicably disappeared a few days ago? So you are the thief. Kill him for me. Received the command from the Divine Lord. The 2 elders also directly rushed out. But they were stopped by Snow White Chi and a purple-haired girl, although both of them are only half-emperors. but they are enough to give these two elders a headache for a while. It was seen that both of them unleashed their strongest moves. Then, they started fighting with the elders. Mystic Arts, the great Tao of Undead Summon, is now completed and shared. The extraordinary summon begins as the system's voice fades away. Several blood shadows emerge around Noctis Borealis. In the blink of an eye, those blood shadows transformed into mechanical behemoths. The strong momentum of the blood shadows even made the Heavenly Lake Divine Lord feel slightly inadequate. He is not easy to deal with either. With a flash of his figure, he appeared directly in front of Noctis Borealis. As long as he defeats the summoner, all the powerful creatures from the alien world will instantly disappear. But at this moment, a faint smile appeared on Noctis Borealis' face. His figure disappeared in an instant from the spot. Those mechanical behemoths did not intend to attack the Divine Lord of the Heavenly Lake, but instead headed towards the other two elders. After a loud explosion, only the Divine Lord of the Heavenly Lake was left on the field. He looked at the mechanical behemoth charging towards him. Heavenly Lake Divine Lord was also a little overwhelmed. These strange huge beasts are not afraid of pain or death. Unfortunately, their combat power is also unusually strong. It's almost time to see them. Noctis Borealis also ordered everyone to launch an attack. Just based on you guys, you still want to take me down. I saw Heavenly Lake Divine Lord's body was surrounded by a blood-red energy, forcibly repelling several people from Noctis Borealis. He, however, disappeared into the void. The 5 girls followed Noctis Borealis. They set off together to pursue the Heavenly Lake Divine Lord, and before long, several people stopped in front of a huge gate. Heavenly Lake Divine Lord, why would he come to such a place? Isn't this a forbidden area? According to ancestral teachings, only the current Heavenly Lake Divine Lord can enter here. No one else is allowed to enter. Many disciples used to secretly sneak in for opportunities before, but in the end, none of them could come out alive. After Lydia Morin checked, she also discovered a very strong undead aura here. But Noctis Borealis doesn't believe in these. He directly ordered yonder Lien to open the door. In the Forbidden Land, at the deepest part of the cave, Heavenly Lake Divine Lord also sensed their presence. It was not in vain to deliberately leave clues for them to find. Elders, Heavenly Lake is in trouble. Please lend a helping hand. Unfilial child. Is this how you disrespect the heritage left to you by the patriarchs? Patriarch is angry after seeing that. Heavenly Lake Divine Lord had to quickly explain. At the same time, Noctis Borealis also noticed him. The mechanical giant beast charges up its laser cannon in its mouth and fires. They found someone causing trouble in their territory. The patriarchs didn't even have time to blame the Heavenly Lake Divine Lord. They directly attacked and shattered the mechanical behemoth. Fortunately, Noctis Borealis released the protective shield in time. They were not affected. Senior sister, look at the faces of these monsters. Everyone looked carefully. Yonder Lien suddenly noticed the faces of these monsters. They all resemble the divine lords of the sacred land from previous generations. But the earliest divine lord has long been dead for 10,000 years. How could they still appear here? The patriarchs are the ones who have made a mess of the Heavenly Lake. Those huge monsters just now were all summoned by them. There are still many of them in the Sacred Land Hall now. But before the Heavenly Lake Divine Lord could finish speaking, a black thorn had already pierced through his heart. Go ahead, rest in peace. This can also be considered the last good deed you have done for us. Under the effect of the black thorn, Heavenly Lake Divine Lord had all of his primeval force sucked away. Even his divine soul was drained dry, seen by everyone on the opposite side. They instantly stood still in their original positions. But Noctis Borealis seemed indifferent. There was even a hint of speechlessness. The monster absorbed Heavenly Lake Divine Lord's cultivation level. These monsters have turned their attention to Luminous Bai. This girl doll may have a low cultivation level, but I like her. I only saw the monster controlling a chain flying towards Luminous Bai. But the chain was caught by Noctis Borealis. Just because you want to move me, beloved disciple. The monster sees nothing but a waste of Celestial Court Stage 8 layer. The monster then taunted Noctis Borealis, forget it. It's better to have it than not. As long as we absorb the primeval force from Yifu, we should be able to get out. He controlled the chain and started corroding the body of Noctis Borealis. But it didn't take long. The monster soon realized something was wrong. Not only did he not absorb any primeval force, but his own primeval force was being absorbed instead. They noticed that something was wrong. All the monsters flung out chains and attacked towards Noctis Borealis. But Noctis Borealis managed to catch all the chains at once. You guys are far from having enough evil essence. Boss, it turns out that evil essence has an extremely pure evil essence in his body. Upon hearing that it is a more advanced demonic creature, the monster beside it immediately bows and pledges allegiance. It is willing to serve Noctis Borealis for a lifetime, only hoping to be spared. Serve me as your master? Sorry, you are not worthy. As soon as Noctis Borealis finished speaking, he immediately began to absorb their primeval force with all his might. They were then drained dry and turned into a pile of white bones. But Noctis Borealis left behind a question mark. According to the explanation given by the monster, something that has been controlling them all along. It's inside the door in front of Noctis Borealis. Lydia Morwen, remember this aura. Before you become the great emperor, do not turn these creatures with evil essence into undead. Saying that, she then placed the monster into the desolate space. Let's go! Let's see what turned them into this state. 5 girls plus an old man. With just this bit of manpower, Noctis Borealis successfully captured the Heavenly Lake Sacred Land. They walked towards the deepest part of the Forbidden Land. What caught everyone's eyes was actually a coffin. Noctis Borealis instructed the girls to wait here. He walked up to the coffin. He extended his left hand and began the perception. The corpse turned out to be of the demon race. Noctis Borealis was greatly shocked at this moment, looking at this appearance. He must have died tens of thousands of years ago. And he was of noble bloodline, and not low in rank. However, it was clearly tens of thousands of years ago, when the demon race was already repelled by humans, and the feral race in a united effort. In order to answer these doubts, Noctis Borealis also entered the desolate space. After all, for such matters, it is necessary to ask the boss here. Through his threats, the first Heavenly Lake Divine Lord confessed everything he knew. The body was found by him in the periphery of the secret realm in the central domain. At that time, the demon race was severely injured and on the brink of death. Due to greed, he did not directly kill it. Instead, he brought the demon race back to the Heavenly Lake Sacred Land. He wanted to obtain the secret of immortality from it. Although he succeeded in the end, he fell into the trap of the demon race. He was forever trapped here. People may deceive others, but they cannot deceive the heavens. All that is happening now is your retribution. Only to see Noctis Borealis unleashing thunderbolts from his hand. The soul body of Heavenly Lake Divine Lord instantly burst. He walked out of the desolate space. He directly threw the coffin containing the demon race into the sky. Then he took out the alchemy furnace and began refining. Although this demon race has been dead for tens of thousands of years. But the essence of blood within his body. This pure essence of blood is just what he can use to enhance the supreme demon bone. Luminous Bai on the side saw how terrifying revered Shifu's strength was, and quickly asked the other senior sisters for information. But the other 4 people had very indifferent expressions. After all, revered Shifu can quickly kill Divine Saga at the body refining stage cultivation level. Now he is already at the Celestial Court stage, estimated to be just a quick splash to kill a great emperor, 300 years ago. Revered Shifu is the person I admire and worship the most. It will remain the same even 300 years later. seeing the approval of senior sisters. Luminous Bai also had a joyful expression on her face. She was imprisoned by Heavenly Lake Sacred Land for 300 years. Now everything has come to an end. She believes that as long as revered Sherfu is around, no one will ever bully her again in the future. 1 hour later, Noctis Borealis finished absorbing the essence blood of the demon race.